that'll be a fun one to watch. Gibbons or Monsignor Pace, I don't think that's going to be a bad game either. I don't think Gibbons is going to just come out there with a blowout. But even if you look past those first rounds, you still got 4 more great games at the bottom of Region 3. And then on the other side of the bracket, I think you're right. Bulls, Cocoa are pulling away a little bit as favorites to come out that side of the bracket, which would set up for a really great matchup with Bulls and Cocoa versus any of the Region 4 teams.
Who would you consider probably to be like the favorite at this point, like just overall?
In my own prediction, I picked Cocoa to go against Booker T. Washington.
I could see that.
Bulls and Cocoa, it's almost like a 50-50 toss-up there. The other side is all divided equally. Right now, I said the team with the most momentum is Cardinal Gibbons. I mean, they haven't lost since around week 1, I think it was, to Miami Northwestern. They have the win over Miami Palmetto, and they have Monsignor Pace coming up. I think University's better than Gulliver Prep, so I'm sure that's kind of weighing on Gibbons as they rather played Gulliver Prep instead of U School. But they have the biggest momentum right now. I still think Booker T is going to face them in the regional finals, and then I think Booker T will go to the state championship. But still very hard to tell.
The only thing though, U School, like they kind of been up and down like this year. Like they get a big win over Columbus, and then the very next week they go out and lose to Clearwater Central Catholic. And I feel there was another. I think they lost another game, but I was like, what is up with them? The one thing though, I have noticed, like Gulliver, even though they're probably not playing like as strong of a schedule compared to like some of the teams in that region, they have been pretty consistent across basically from start to finish.
For sure. For sure. You're right about the Gulliver thing. And definitely U School has been up and down. The CCC loss definitely hurt them. But, I mean, they still do have some pretty nice wins. Hialeah was a good one. MacArthur. Or no, they did lose to MacArthur. So that's, the one you were talking about that knocked them down. But, yes, it has been an up-and-down season for University. But it's still hard to tell. I mean, you can when the playoffs start, like you said at the beginning of the show, it's a whole other season. We could see something surprising from them.
Also, I will add, Cardinal Gibbons, their last loss was to American Heritage Plantation. I believe that was like close to mid-season. Yeah. But
so 2 losses to American Heritage and Plantation and Miami Northwestern, 2 top teams at 5A.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably the best 2 teams at 5A at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like I think on my last poll, I had both of them ranked in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of 5A, I guess we'll just go ahead and move right into that. I guess you would say Northwestern, American Heritage would be the 2 teams to definitely watch for in the 5A South, and then you move to the North. I would say Orlando Jones probably the team to watch, especially in Region 2.
Yeah.
Then of course you have Rains and Pine Forest both in 5A Region 1. Then you have North Marion and Denellen in Region 2, and then you got Rockledge and Lake Wales in Region 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna start over here in Region 1. Wakulla obviously sitting at number 1, so I think they're gonna have kind of a good road to the 4th round. Rains has West Side, so I still think that they can beat those 2 teams. Terry Parker's got Godby this week, which is going to be interesting to watch how Godby responds. I've been defending myself on this Godby pick, saying they are a championship program, and championship programs don't go out like this that easy. Godby had probably the second hardest schedule, and that loss, it was either a 3-point win or 3-point loss to TCA. So it's still a pretty nice season for Godby, especially sitting there as a 6th seed. So I would say 5A, if you look at high school brackets in the past years, you always have that one bracket that'll shake you up. If they did this like the NCAA basketball tournament challenge, your brackets will be busted completely. And I think Godby is the person who's going to do that in Region 1. Region 2, you do see Jones. You mentioned them as a favorite. But Vanguard sitting down there with Dunellen and North Marion. Right now, I put Vanguard over Jones, but I'm not. I mean, if Jones wins, good for them. I would be happy for them. It wouldn't be a surprise to me for sure if Jones beat Vanguard. But right now, I'm going to go with Vanguard. They are on the roll. The win over North Marion did help them a little bit. If we go to Region 3, Lake Wales really has been struggling lately after putting up around 60 points a game. But Rockledge, I think, is going to be the favorite to go out of Region 3. And then Region 4, it's really a two-race battle between American Heritage and Miami Northwestern. In that case, I think Northwestern is going to get the win.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that. With Region 1, I cannot believe I completely forgot about Wakulla when I was like thinking of teams as potential like dark horses there.
Mm-hmm.
Reigns is a defending like 2-time state champions at 4A, but they really haven't looked as strong like for most of this season. I definitely could see Wakulla winning it. I could also see maybe someone like Pine Forest coming out of that region.
Yeah,
I can see I guess I might take the toss up. I'll go Pine Forest in Region 1.
Mm-hmm. I have that feeling that this is going to be the bracket that is going to surprise a lot of people.
With Region 2, I would say Jones is definitely the favorite, but after what I saw with North Marion, I would not be surprised if that team ends up coming out of Region 2, so I could probably see them being like the team that might be that catches Orlando Jones off guard and knocks them off.
Yeah.
Region 3, I did see that Lake Wales was destroying teams early in the season, but at the same time, looking at their schedule early in the season, I wrote this down like a while back. I think it was like maybe 19, like their first 5 opponents were like a combined like 19 and 38 or something like that.
Yeah, it was bad.
It seemed like as soon as the schedule got stronger, their point totals pretty much came back to earth.
Mm-hmm. The one that surprised me was after, I think around mid-season, they were taking on Lely, and it was only a 16-3 win after multiple 50-point performances and a lot of shutouts. So that one was the one that really started turning heads for Lake Wales.
Not to mention that also Seabrig basically hung on and held their ground against them, and that's actually who they're going to be playing in the opening round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
That
should be a good one.
Even though I think Lake Wales wins that game, I don't think they win the region. I think Rockledge would be the favorite in 5A3 at this point. I guess also a team that could be watched for, maybe like a Tampa Jesuit, potentially.
Yeah. They're in the same position as a lot of these teams that we're talking about. A very consistent program. They have a lot of returning starters from last year, and a 14-6 loss to Cardinal Gibbons last year knocked them out of the semifinals. But, yeah, they had a slow start to the season. They're picking it up now, and I wouldn't be surprised. Rockledge is going to be a big game in round 2.
And I guess when we go to 5A4, I guess it would definitely be a toss-up between American Heritage and Northwestern. I'll take Northwestern seems to have... They had some early struggles, but they seem to have basically like leveled out and balanced a bit as we head towards the end of the season. So I'm thinking they probably will be the one that comes out of 5A4 and probably the team that ends up winning 5A overall.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you.
Moving on to 6A, I'd say it's still a bit wide open. You got Columbia up and Escambia in the 6A Region 1 that are obviously worth mentioning. Then you got like someone like Dillard and Miami Central in 6A4. And on top of that, you got teams like Lee, Ponte Vedra, Mainland in Region 1. Then you have Gayfer and Clearwater in Region 2. And Palmetto in Region 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's start in Region 1 here. It's probably up for discussing another tough region, just like the 4A Region 4. or was it? Yeah, 4A, Region 4. Escambia's number 1 team. I believe they are undefeated, and NSB is going to be almost a cakewalk for that one. So I do expect them to go to the third round. I like Mainland over Booker T. Washington up in Pensacola. So for that one, I am going to take Escambia over Mainland. I'm really torn about Columbia because they could disappoint me here in the first round, but I am going to pick Columbia to move on and face Lee in that matchup. It was almost a blowout loss for Columbia versus Lee earlier, so right now I'm going to go with Lee.
It wasn't a blowout.
Or was it?
No, Lee. It was an overtime game.
Overtime. Yeah, I was thinking Lee beat somebody 28-0. I was thinking of that one. Let's see, and then it says I'll say Escambia versus Lee, and then Lee moves on to the state championship. Right now, for me, obviously that could change with Escambia, Columbia. I wouldn't be surprised if either team makes it to the state championship. Out of those three, I think are the best chances. Mainland's floating around there. St. Augustine, like you said, floating around there for Region 1. Let's see, now moving on to Region 2. Gaither is starting to look like the front runners to win this region. Only a 14-0 loss, which I know living in Tampa, a lot of these people at Gaither and some people around them would be like, okay, we'll take that. We're the number 1 seed. We lost to Armwood by the least margin, 14-0. Aside from Armwood's loss to North Gwinnett, that's probably the closest game they've played all year. Largo's looking nice, Clearwater, but I still think Gaither's going to move on. Very talented senior group over there. In Region 3, you see Palmetto at the top. They have been pretty much taking down some people. But the Lincoln loss did kind of shock me a little bit. Wasn't expecting that one. Some people were saying that they rested some of their starters, but I think if you rested your starters, the score would have said something different. I think Lake Gibson not really would contend with them, and they beat Port Charlotte, I think, by a good margin. Seems like has the second best record in the region 3. Now in the bottom region, people are really not talking about Naples that much. Naples, unfortunately, has got Miami Central in the second round, so that's going to hurt them a little bit. Dillard is sitting there at the bottom of that bracket. They would probably take on Naples or Miami Central. At the end of the day, I think it's Central once again getting back to a championship standard.
All right. I had Naples listed as well on my potential favorites in 6A. I guess I just overlooked them when I was going down the list. But I could definitely see Naples coming out at 6A South. But I guess I'll start with Region 1. Obviously, I do feel like it's gonna. I personally feel like it's gonna come down to Columbia and Escambia in the regional finals. Overall, as I already mentioned briefly about with me looking at Ponte Vedra and how the matchup is, I feel like Columbia has a matchup edge with Ponte Vedra.
Mm-hmm.
Ponte Vedra, their quarterback looked pretty athletic, and he is a pretty good thrower too. But when I looked at the rest of the team, I really wasn't overall impressed outside the quarterback. I feel like that's just it's not going to be enough to knock off Columbia, who's going to be coming in to this game with a different level mindset, because in the past few games, they lost games that it definitely hurt to lose, but at no point was their season on the line in any of those games. That's going to change on Friday. So I feel like they're going to come out with a different mindset and a different level of aggression.
For sure.
Then we go to I agree with definitely the Mainland knocking off Washington. I could see an outside chance of Mainland knocking off Escambia, but I would not put any money on that at the moment. I would say right now, Escambia probably be my pick to make it to face Columbia most likely in the regional finals, and then we come back, of course, the Columbia-Lee matchup. I really did feel when that game was over that if Columbia gets a second shot at Lee, the result's not going to be the same as the first time.
Yeah.
Because in the game, Columbia had 4 turnovers throughout that game, including they had a reception under a minute that they fumbled at the 10-yard line of Lee. So had Columbia simply had their player get to the ground and be able to get the play blown dead there, they probably just run the clock down, kick a game-winning